Society tells you that you need work-life balance. If you are broke, in debt, or stuck in a job you hate, big balance is exactly the thing that you don't need. Balance is a lie. Balance is for maintaining wealth, not building it. When I was drowning in debt with my kids, with my family, I didn't find balance. I completely disappeared. I went into dark mode for a lot of time. And it was not only the way I bought my family's freedom, but it was also the way that I began to realize how I was able to grow. In the end of the day, by going what I call dark mode, by disappearing, by not doing the thing that everyone else was doing and going on a bunch of vacations constantly every 2-3 months, by going and buying a new car every single 2-3 years or getting a lease and doing things in a different way that most people were telling me, no, you're kind of crazy. You don't have to do that. Why do you have to be so aggressive about it? In the end of the day, doing exactly what people were telling me not to do is what led me to being debt free. Not only in my 20s, but at the same time, being able to pay off my family's college for me and my wife completely cash. And not only that, but beginning to build the business that I am building today. In the end of the day, going dark mode, disappearing, is what allowed me to grow and find much more freedom than staying and doing the same thing else everyone else is doing. I will acknowledge something. The reality is that it is a painful process. It is a hard process. Not being and doing the norm is a process that is very much something that requires discipline. When you decide to level up, you're essentially firing your current and active self so that you can begin to become something else. You're deciding that the person you are right now is no longer acceptable. Again, the reality is that doing this is not something that is easy. It requires discipline. It requires grit. It requires for you to be consistent and do it every single time, time after time. It is not an easy thing to do. It is very much hard, but at the end of the day, when you are willing to dedicate that much time, that much energy, and you are willing to do this, you will grow at a level that's so much greater than you have ever realized that you are capable of. And at the end of the day, you can accomplish so much more by going into that dark mode, by going into not a dark place, into a place where you separate yourself so that you could grow further. Again, I think about the reality of my father with the mechanic shop he had and the amount of energy he put into it. But I also think about myself. Mornings, every single weekend, I will go out and I'll go to shops and I'll begin to offer the service that I offer with Go High Level. And as I begin to do these things, I realize how much I've been able to grow in the process. You know what it is to wake up early on a Saturday? A few years back, maybe 5 years back, I was waking up at 12 o'clock every single Saturday. And since then till now, I'm waking up now early in the morning to go to businesses and offer a product. Something that I would have never imagined doing, not just 5 years ago, 6 months ago. I would have never done that. And now I'm doing it week after week, going to businesses, offering a product, something that I, again, never thought I would be able to grow into. Sales was something I never liked to do in the first place. Again, doing this, separating yourself, will allow you to grow to levels you never realized before. It isn't something permanent to go into, again, what I call dark mode. It is survival. It is required for you to grow exponentially, and it's required for you to be able to reach another level in your personal life. You could dedicate time to friends and going on vacations. You could dedicate time to sitting down and watching TV. And while I do acknowledge that there are things that my 32 hours require for me to give it attention, my kids, my family, these are things that I need to give attention to. But in the end of the day, all with these 32 hours, I need to be very, very aware of the fact that they can fly away, and time in the end of the day is something that's very much fleeting if you're not using it wisely. You can sit down, you could go Friday night and you could go to a bar like everyone else. You can sit down Friday night and go to a club. You can sit down Friday night and decide to just watch TV and watch movies back to back and binge watch a show if you want to. Or you could sit down, use those 32 hours and begin to dedicate some of that time, maybe half of it, maybe a quarter of it, and begin to build on your skills. Over a year, that is hours and hours of work. If you do out of 32 hours, simply 8 hours, and you begin to do that over a year, if you do that on a daily basis and you multiply 52 by 8, and let me do the math right here as we speak. If we sit down and we multiply 52 by 8, we're talking about 416 hours of growth that you wouldn't have had otherwise. You can literally master a life-changing skill in the time everyone else spends watching Netflix. Sit down and master the time that you have before you and use it wisely. And one of the things that is very much the truth is that one of the biggest problems that people my age or that people have in general is that they feel like they are underpaid. And the reality is that you're not underpaid. You're just easily replaced. If you want to make more money, you have to become undeniably valuable. You have to put yourself in whatever you work in, whether it's your business or whether it is a company. You need to become the most invaluable person ever. You need to become someone that they cannot replace. You need to become someone that the business that you are selling to or that the person you are selling your stuff to is not going to replace you easily, because they need your service, because they need your work and the company that you work for. You cannot be someone that's easily replaced. And the way you do that is by dedicating time to growth, is by dedicating time to developing your skill and your craft. In the end of the day, going dark mode for this type of things are important as well. You aren't just working hard. You are learning things that the market actually pays for. Things like sales, automation, marketing, AI. Grow in these things so that you can become someone that isn't replaceable in the company you work for or in the business that you are starting in your community. You won't be replaced easily if you become someone that works on your skill time after time. Hard work on the wrong things keeps you poor. In the end of the day, when you dedicate more time to growth, you will become that much more important in whatever it is that you are working in. GaryVee always says, if you know about Gary Vaynerchuk, GaryVee always says, going dark is lonely. Your friends will call you obsessed. Your extended family will say you work too much. You will feel a massive amount of guilt. But let me ask you this. What is heavier? The guilt of missing a few Friday nights, or the guilt of looking your kids in the eyes and telling them you can't afford the life they deserve or the life that you want to give them? In the end of the day, when you sit down and think about what you're doing with the time you have, although maybe you're taking away out of 4 hours that you spend with your kids or 2 hours that you spend with your kids, you're taking 30 minutes away to give them a better life. If in the end of the day you're doing this for a period of time, or maybe if in the end of the day, instead of sitting down and sleeping more, maybe laying there and sleeping more, maybe taking away 2 hours of that time or 1 hour of that time, instead of sitting down and watching TV and binge watching the show that you're watching, binge watching the new Game of Thrones series, instead of sitting down and doing that, you can sit down and begin to go out and work hard so that you begin to grow not only at a personal level, but you begin to allow your family to grow to a level that is so much exponentially bigger than what you have been able to do. If you sit down and do the same thing, you will develop the same results. Again, what is better? What is more important to you? What is worse to you? Is it sitting there and watching TV more time and saying, wow, I didn't get to watch TV? Or sitting there and having to tell your kid, I can't buy you this toy because I can't afford it? In the end of the day, the better that you become at working harder on the things and becoming disciplined, on showing up time after time and working hard on the things that you know you need to work on to be able to grow that much more, the more time you dedicate to not doing that and the more time you waste on not doing that, the more time you allow yourself to be able to say yes to not showing up, and yes to not being able to give your family the things you want to give them, and saying no to the future that you want to give them. Every single moment that you choose to do TV instead of working on your business is every single moment. Every single moment that you choose to go on your phone and social media and just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and just go numb scrolling, every single time you decide to do that, you're saying no to the future that you want to give to yourself and above all to your family. Think about that as you go about your time, as you go about the extra time that you get to have. Think about what you're doing with it. Manage your time well so that you can accomplish the goals you need to accomplish. And if it means going dark mode, go dark mode. Disappear for a few months, disappear for a few years so that you can accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. If you are ready to cut the distractions, to go dark for the next few months, maybe 6 months, and actually build on a skill set that you already have or skill set that you want to have, drop an emoji below, maybe a check mark, maybe a hands up emoji. Again, if that is you, drop that in the comments. Hit the subscribe button because I'm going to show you here exactly what skills to build while you are in the dark mode. Follow here, subscribe here, give me a like, or put the comment below with that little emoji raising your hand up. And if you are interested in more, continue to follow here and activate your notifications. Don't forget, if you want more information, you can find me at santosfinancialstrategy.com and you'll find more information there. You can even book some free time to be able to speak with me. And here is my entrepreneurial journey, and I will teach you everything that I've been able to learn in this time that I've worked on this, in the past few years that I've been working on side hustles and side gigs, and my journey in becoming debt free as well. As a finance coach that I was, some of the things that I will talk about is related to finances. And if you are interested in more, then follow here. And again, don't forget that your path to freedom is dependent on what you do now. What are you going to do with the time you have? Your path to freedom is here.